Hi guys, it's Dr. Mo here from Inspire Medics, and in this video I just want to talk a bit about the journey that I've gone through to become a doctor and how Inspire Medics came about. So we're going to have to go way back now when I was about 14 or 13, and at that point in time obviously you're at secondary school and you want to work out what you want to do in life. And at that moment in time, really, I wanted to do something which involved working with people. I enjoyed the social interaction of being around people. And obviously, there's lots of careers which can allow you to do that. I was doing academically quite well, so I went to a comprehensive school in Coventry. And the tutors and the careers tutors at the time said, why don't you look at these different careers, one of which was medicine. And I knew at the time that I wanted to be a GP. I was fairly convinced that this is something I wanted to do for the rest of my life, having seen what my GP was doing in my surgery when he saw patients. And really, that was the career I wanted to pursue. So they signposted me in the right direction once I let my career tutors know that I wanted to do medicine. And obviously, when you start learning about medicine, you begin to realize it's a longer course. It's 5 years rather than 3 years for a traditional degree. Then you've got all the postgraduate exams, and of course, not to mention the grades that you need to pass to get to that point in your career and your life. So knuckled down, started to do my GCSEs, obviously did relatively well, then did A-levels, had to choose the right A-levels. In this case, it was chemistry, maths, physics and biology. And again, I got relatively good grades again in the A-levels. Now, I did apply during my UCAS application to 4 medical schools. I applied to Oxford, Leicester, Hull, York and also Birmingham. And luckily, I got an offer from Birmingham, and I was super pleased. Actually, initially, I got refused entry into Birmingham. They actually said I wasn't accepted, and that was obviously disheartening, and I was super upset. But once Christmas had passed, they got back in touch and said, actually, we've got some places still available and would like to make you an offer. So I was really pleased and obviously very lucky. Now, I did my 5 years of training at medical school, at Birmingham Medical School. Actually had to retake a year. During the 3rd year, I had to retake a year because I didn't pass one of the exams. It was a super important learning point for me because it taught me that I needed to work more efficiently, obviously revise from the correct places. And I've made a video on what you should do if you fail an exam, and that's obviously my experience and how you can bounce back. So do check out that video. Now, once I finished my medical training at Birmingham Medical School, I went on to do my junior doctor posts. These are your FY1 and FY2 posts in the East Midlands. So initially, I went to Northampton General Hospital. I had an acute medicine rotation. So this is where you're in the acute medical ward, clerking in new patients who come into the hospital from A&E. And then after that, I did a urology rotation. So lots of catheters, obviously people who have gone into retention, prostate cancer, and that was a really useful experience. And I might go into that in more detail in a separate video. Anyway, I did my 2 years as a junior doctor. The other rotations were rehabilitation medicine, colorectal surgery. I also did another acute medicine stint, and then finally I did a general practice stint in Loughborough, which was really insightful, and actually it confirmed what I already knew, which is that I wanted to be a GP. Now, once I did my 2 years of foundation year training, you can apply for specialist training, and the specialist training I applied for was general practice. And of course, Coventry is my hometown, and so I wanted to go back to Coventry to do my general practice training, and that was a 3-year training program. It's called the VTS training, and super useful. Again, I did multiple rotations relevant to general practice. I did pediatrics, I did psychiatry, I did acute medicine again, and also did geriatric medicine, which is obviously a large part of general practice. And then I did 18 months as GP rotations in family medicine in the community. So basically, it was very near to my house where I grew up. That was really nice. And then there was another surgery where I did a 6-month stint, and that was a bit closer to the hospital where I was working. So I did 3 years, and then after that, I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do. So initially, I decided to do lots of different things. So for example, I went into medico-legal work. So I was doing accident reporting for insurance companies. I was doing some teaching at Warwick Medical School in terms of communication skills and facilitating there. I also started to do courses and coaching for the MRC GP CSA exam. So I was actually touring the country. I was going up to Manchester, down to London. I was going to Birmingham every month. So three times a month, I was doing these in-person courses while I would coach GP trainees in preparation for their CSA exam. And I set up a company at the time called CSA ABC, and we would basically make it super easy for GP trainees to pass their CSA exam. So at the time I was also doing clinics. I was also doing 2 or 3 sessions a week, and you can imagine that doing all these things at the same time made my schedule super busy. And I decided I really needed to do one thing properly. And about a year after I started CSA ABC, I actually met Dr. Vikas Sandhu, who's an amazing GP, really nice guy. And he was 1 year behind me, so he was still doing his exams. I helped him with his exams in terms of preparing for the CSA exam for the RCGP assessments. And we and him decided, we had a chat one day, it's about June, July time, 2017, that would set up a company which would help not just GP trainees, but all doctors and medical students at any point in their career. And really, that's how Inspire Medics came about. This is going back now 3 years. This is 2020 now, whilst I'm doing this video. And we wanted to help doctors who are struggling, doctors who want revision material, and eventually we decided to make a lot of our content free. So you may have noticed that our AKT content is free, our PLAB content is free, and the reason we did that is because sometimes there's barriers to entry to get revision material. You know, you're looking online, you have to pay for subscriptions, and we thought, well, let's just make it free. What's the point of putting a barrier up to, it's not a big barrier, yes, doctors can afford it, but let's take away that barrier and allow them to have quality exam material for free. And really, we've started to kind of expand on that in 2020 and hopefully going forwards as well. And going into the future, obviously I'll do another video on that and where we're going to go in the future, but we're super excited. We hope you enjoy these videos, and of course please subscribe to our social media channels. Do check out our website, it's www.i-medics.co.uk. Of course, you're going to love the content that we bring out. It's always going to be the cutting edge content in terms of what we deliver. We want to make learning fun and engaging, and it's boring obviously going to text, and I hope that a lot of the material that we have you're going to find useful. Hope you enjoyed this video and hope to see you soon as well.